Good day, everyone. I am Christine, the moderator for this webinar. I welcome everyone to today's webinar, ChatGPT for CPAs and Finance Professionals. I would like to introduce our presenter for today, Chris Devani. Chris Devani is the founder and president of Pinnacle Performance Improvement Worldwide. Chris holds degrees in management, studies, and organizational behavior from Boston University. I would now like to hand over the floor to the speaker. Over to you, Chris.
Thank you very much, and welcome everyone as we address ChatGPT for CPAs and Finance Professionals. We're going to focus on 6 objectives today. We want to help everyone understand how ChatGPT is used in finance, what we can do to automate financial processes using ChatGPT, to conduct enhanced financial analysis and decision-making, also to provide support for client interactions and advisory services, both financial and investment advisory services, to incorporate regulatory compliance and ethical considerations, and also the steps we need to follow to integrate ChatGPT with our existing financial systems. So how is ChatGPT used in finance? Well, it's an AI chatbot that can be used for many finance tasks, including analyzing data for automation. Also, it's useful for financial advisors, planners, also in analyzing large amounts of data. So we're going to look a little more closely at 7 of the benefits. So for conducting basic data analysis and drawing insights, ChatGPT adapts rapidly to changing datasets to ensure 100% secure information exchange. In supporting automated customer interactions and support, here's a sample prompt. The third way that ChatGPT is used in finance is in support of compliance and with risk management. Another way that ChatGPT is going to help us is for integration with our existing financial software and our existing financial tools. Another way that ChatGPT can help us is to conduct advanced financial analysis using generative AI. You can import your data into ChatGPT and prompt it to create pro forma statements. Yet another way that ChatGPT is going to help us is in support of automation and efficiency in our financial workflows. ChatGPT creates powerful financial models for different use cases. And one more use of ChatGPT that we're looking closely at is using it to help us to forecast trends in the finance industry. Here we have the link to ChatGPT Plus. This is for individual use. So for automating financial processes, think of all the ways it can help us. ChatGPT helps us with one of the main benefits is to handle a huge amount of volume of requests at the same time. ChatGPT to automate our financial services. Now we're going to start to explore in greater detail how ChatGPT can help us to conduct enhanced financial analysis and make decisions. How can we use ChatGPT to conduct financial analysis? What can we do to use ChatGPT to engage in financial decision-making, for budgeting and planning, to create a budget, for making investment decisions? ChatGPT helps us for managing costs, for financial reporting, another very favorite area for CFOs, conducting strategic financial planning, for conducting market analysis. So the steps we want to follow now, step 1, we need to define our objectives. And now step 2 is to collect the data that we need to have analyzed. Then step 3, we input that data. And now step 4, we conduct a more detailed analysis. And next is step 5. Now we want to model some potential scenarios. Step 6 for decision support. We have a few more steps. Continuous monitoring by reviewing and then adjusting. What are some best practices when it comes to using ChatGPT? How we can use ChatGPT to support our client interactions and the financial and investment advisory services which our firm may be providing. So here's some practical ways. First, for our client interactions. Now for scheduling appointments, also in support of initial consultations. Now let's start to get into the specific financial and investment advisory services. Now let's look more closely at how ChatGPT is going to support your investment advisors and provide basic guidance on legal matters. Now, to enhance engagement with your clients, ChatGPT can also develop educational content. What are the steps we need to follow to implement ChatGPT? What are some best practices when it comes to supporting client interaction? So now we're going to take a closer look at how we can use ChatGPT to incorporate regulatory compliance, ethical considerations. Best practices around documentation and reporting, conducting regular audits and regular risk assessments. Let's get back to our ethical considerations, including transparency. When it comes to bias and fairness, we're going to talk next about empowering our clients. Now, what are some practical steps for implementation? Now, in support of training our staff, let's address the measures we take internally in support of our technology and our infrastructure. Let's review case studies of other organizations. We're going to look at one more category, and this is very important. Steps do we want to follow and need to follow to effectively integrate ChatGPT with our existing financial systems? Step one, we need to define our objectives, and then we're going to define our use cases. Now, step two, we need to assess our existing financial systems. Next comes our integration strategy. And now comes the development of our application programming interfaces. If we have any older legacy systems, IT will configure our middleware to bridge the gap. Then we conduct testing and validation. We engage in continuous monitoring and improvement. What are some practical examples of integration for managing our client portfolios? What are some best practices for integration? So what are we doing here? Well, we have addressed today 6 important objectives. You've just invested your valuable time to participate today, and I want to thank you for that.
And thank you, Chris. That concludes the sessions for today. Thank you everyone for participating. You may all disconnect now and have a great day.